Hey y'all, so today I'm going to be reviewing my quarterly goals for the spring and talking about my quarterly goals for the summer. A few months ago, when I was kind of in the middle of reworking my novel, I stumbled across the YouTube channel of Jenna Moreci, who is both a YouTube channel and a writer, and every 3 months she gives herself quarterly goals that she wants to complete over those 3 months. And she always talks about how helpful it is to set these quarterly goals and how much it helps her to get stuff done. So I decided that I would go ahead and give it a go, and that's what I've been doing for the past 3 months. So in this video, I'm going to be introducing to you the goals that I set for spring, talking about how many of them I succeeded in, and then I'm going to be moving on to the ones that I've set myself for the summer and give brief explanations for why I've set those. So since this is a fairly sizable list of goals, like Jenna, I'm going to count it a success if I complete half or more than half of these goals. So let's go ahead and jump into the goals that I attempted this spring. So for the spring, I set 10 goals, so if I completed 5 or more of them, this quarter was a success. And the first few goals are related to my writing, and the first of those is to complete character profiles for all of my major characters. And this was a success. I only had one completed before March, and by like mid-April, I'd completed all 6. So this was a success for me. My second goal was to complete my read-through and notes for my manuscript. Essentially what I did with this was I wanted to read through my manuscript, highlight important things, and kind of just take notes as I was reading, and this was another success. Once again, this was something that I completed fairly early on in the quarter. I want to say I had it done by like the end of March. My third goal was to re-outline my novel. I realized that my novel was going to need a fairly major overhaul, so I knew I was going to need to re-outline it, and once again, this is something that I succeeded at fairly early on. I want to say that I finished this new outline sometime right at the beginning of April, and I haven't really looked at it since then. Which brings us to my fourth goal for this quarter, which was to begin my initial edits / second draft of Flirting with Fame, and as you can tell from what I said at the end of that last one, this is the first one that I failed. There were a lot of factors that played into this, but I think that the largest one was that I was really not confident with my new outline. I mean, I liked it, but I felt like there was something missing, or that I was going to realize that it needed something else, and so I wanted to take a step back from it and kind of like let it sit for a little while, and that has kind of turned into me not working on it for a month and a half. Moving on to goal number 5, which was to complete or catch up to 1 book series per my 2017 challenge rules. If you want to see those rules, I'll leave my 2017 challenge up in the cards because I really don't want to explain it again, but essentially this was another one that I actually succeeded in doing. Granted, it was a comic series that I caught up to, but nonetheless I caught up to the Giant Days comic series, so this counts as a success. Challenge number 6 was to finish my initial player and main match rankings for The Genius on my blog. For the uninitiated, The Genius is a Korean reality competition that I got obsessed with at the end of 2016, and I started doing rankings for the different seasons and lots of different things for the show on my blog, and I wanted to finish the initial season rankings by the end of May. And I have an entire video talking about what The Genius is and why it's perfect and flawless and the best TV show ever, so I'll just link that up in the cards. I'm probably running out of cards to put up there, but oh well. And I just barely failed this challenge. I had one more post to do before I was done with this, but I realized as I was starting to do the ranking that I needed to rewatch the season because there was some stuff that I've forgotten because I watched it back in January. So yeah, I didn't feel good enough about my memory to actually do the ranking before rewatching, so I just ran out of time for this one. Challenge number 7 was to do a bookshelf tour, and once again, this is one that I succeeded in fairly early, and I will leave a link up in the cards to my bookshelf tour. My 8th challenge was to keep my apartment mostly tidy. I'm gonna count this one as a failure because I've had some major ups and downs throughout these last 3 months. For the majority of this quarter though, my apartment has been kind of a disaster, so that's why I'm counting this as a fail. Back at the end of April, I did the KonMari method, and I'll leave a link down in the description to the playlist of all of those videos, and I basically tidied my apartment using the KonMari method, so that definitely kept it really tidy. However, over the past couple weeks, I've been really bad about the putting things back in their place part of that, and so my apartment's gotten a little bit messy because I don't like putting things back where they belong because I'm lazy. So like I said, counting this as a loss, but I did a fairly good job for like half of the quarter. Challenge number 9 was to make a TV show ranking video. Once again, this is one I succeeded in. I actually did it like a week or two ago at this point, and I will leave that up in the cards. Essentially, it is a ranking of my top 10 favorite TV shows, and it's one that I really enjoyed making. I love doing rankings, and I especially love talking about TV shows that I love. And then finally, challenge number 10 was to post about The Mole on my blog. Like with The Genius, The Mole is one of my absolute favorite TV shows. Those are definitely my top 2 favorite TV shows ever, and I haven't really done any posts on The Mole on my blog, and I wanted to do that, and I did end up doing that, and once again, it'll be linked down in the description. I apologize for the vast number of links on this video. I'm pretty sure I've already run out of space up in the cards, but oh well. So if you've been keeping track, I had 10 challenges and I succeeded in 7 of them. So I did pretty well this quarter and I did not fail. Yay. And of the 3 that I didn't complete, there was one that I was really close to completing and another one that I completed kind of like half the time. So overall, I think that I did pretty well for the quarter. So now that those are out of the way, I'm gonna jump into my goals for the summer, and this is gonna span from June to the end of August. And this time I gave myself 11 challenges, so I have to complete 6 of them or more to count this as a win. The first one on this list is gonna sound a little bit familiar, and that is to finish my initial Genius rankings on my blog and to rank all the players, all the main matches, all the death matches, and to do one other ranking. So what it boils down to is I want to finish what I was supposed to do in the spring, and then to do 4 other rankings on the Genius on my blog. This honestly shouldn't be too hard because several of them are ones that I've already ranked. I just need to post it, and I've been waiting to post it until after I finish my initial rankings, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem for me, but I do definitely need to figure out what my last ranking is gonna be because I've got several ideas floating around in my head. Challenge number 2 is to maintain a regular Korean learning schedule. This might be the first video where I've mentioned this, but I have started to learn Korean. Since the beginning of the year, I've really wanted to learn a second language. I've always thought languages were really interesting. I was always good at languages in school, and the majority of the world is bilingual or more, so I really wanted to learn a second language. And for a while, I was focusing my efforts in on Spanish because that's what I took for a ton of school, and I'm definitely at an intermediate level with Spanish, and I can speak fairly well, but then I got back into a lot of my Korean shows and Korean music, and I really wanted to focus my efforts in on Korean instead. Because while yes, I am more likely to run into a person in real life who speaks Spanish, I think that Korean is more helpful for me when it comes to a lot of my interests. For example, The Genius is my favorite TV show, and that's entirely in Korean. Recently, I've really gotten into Infinite, the K-pop group, and they also sing and speak in Korean. And a lot of these people are people I follow on social media, or there are a lot of news posts about it, and all of these things are in Korean. And if you've never tried to use auto-translate for something that's in Korean, let me enlighten you. It is horrible. Regardless of the platform, because the languages are so vastly different, the auto-translate makes whoever wrote the sentence sound like a complete idiot, even though they're not. Whatever they wrote makes 100% perfect sense in Korean, but auto-translate just can't compute and makes it some unintelligible sentence that you have to kind of piece together to get any sort of meaning out of. So combining my desire to learn a second language and my desire to understand the stuff that people are posting on social media in Korean, I decided that that would be the route that I wanted to go with. Spanish is something that I can easily pick up again sometime in the future. Like I said, I took Spanish for the majority of my time in public school, so it really wouldn't be that hard to pick it up again, and I'm already at an intermediate level with that one. So I really wanted to focus on Korean and to kind of try and figure out the language and Hangul and all of that stuff. So yeah, after way too much rambling, that is goal number 2, is to maintain a regular Korean learning schedule. I have been working on it every day. I know that I won't be able to do it every single day for the next 3 months, but I do want to make sure that I'm making it a part of my routine and that I'm not just slacking at all. My third challenge for the summer is to keep my apartment mostly tidy. Now that I've done the KonMari method, it really shouldn't be that hard to keep my apartment tidy and to keep everything in its place. because I have a specific place for every single item, and I've just gotten really lazy about putting things back. So I definitely want to try to keep my apartment mostly tidy over the next few months. Challenge number 4 is to complete or catch up to 3 series over the summer. My overall goal for the year is to complete or catch up to 7 series, and so far I've only done 1 this year, so I wanted to pack several in the summer when I'm just working and I don't have to deal with school. I still haven't been in a huge reading mood, so I'm not sure if this is gonna happen, but I definitely want to keep this in mind and keep it as something that I'm at least trying to do. Challenge number 5 is to post regularly on my blog. I've been doing YouTube for like 2.5 years at this point, but I've been blogging for like 5 years, and over the past year or so, I've kind of put it aside and I want to get back in the habit of actually using it. I've still been posting on there sometimes, but almost every single post on my blog in the last year has been just a ranking of something because I decided that it was something that wasn't good enough to go on my YouTube channel, which is not how I want to think about my blog. And I have a whole post on my blog talking about this, which I guess I'll link in the description again. So yeah, I just really want to get back into the habit of using it again and not just as like the extra stuff that I don't want to put on my YouTube channel. That being said, I will still definitely be doing a ton of rankings on there because rankings are my favorite thing to do and it's easiest to do in blog form. Challenge number 6 is to begin my rewrite of Flirting with Fame. I considered putting as a goal rewrite Flirting with Fame, like finish a rewrite. But honestly, I know that's just not gonna happen because I really have not been in the mood to write lately, and I've been focusing more on like the Korean and stuff like that. So I'm sure that I will get back into a writing mindset sometime soon, but as of right now, I'm setting it just as to start my rewrite. I would like to have it done by the end of the summer, but I don't think that's actually gonna happen. I've considered doing Camp NaNoWriMo in July, but it just will depend on what kind of mindset I'm in once July rolls around, because if I'm not in the right mindset, it's just gonna be a complete and total flop. So the 7th goal is one where you're gonna be like, Kristen, really? That's a goal that you've set for yourself? And yes, it is. My 7th goal is to get a poster for my room. So obviously I need to explain myself. So my apartment has posters everywhere. I have posters over my TV, I have a poster over here, I just have posters all over the place, but especially in my living room. And in my room, I do have posters, but the wall that my bed is on is completely blank. This isn't something that I did on purpose. I think that it just happened that way because I put the posters where I would see them, and I tend to sit on my bed a lot, so I'm not facing the wall that my bed is on. But now when you walk in the room, literally the biggest wall in my room is completely blank. So I want to get a poster to put up there, and I keep looking online for stuff that I want, and I keep just not committing because I don't like the poster enough. I don't know, I'm picky when it comes to my posters. So I just want to finally figure out one and at least get one to put somewhere on that wall. So yeah, it's kind of a dumb goal, but it's one that I've been meaning to do for like forever, and I think that maybe if I put it on the actual list, I might actually do it. Lately, I've been considering getting a poster of Infinite, the K-pop group, because I've been obsessing over them lately, but I have yet to find one that I really, really like, so I don't know, we'll see. Challenge number 8 is to make another favorite ranking video. This is separate from the Harry Potter ranking video that I plan on posting on my birthday, but it's more like my top 10 favorite movies or my favorite songs or something like that. Like I said earlier, recently I did a top 10 favorite TV shows, and now I want to do a top 10 favorite blank. I don't know if I'm gonna redo my favorite bands because those have definitely changed a lot in the past 2 years since I did that, or if I'm going to do like my favorite movies or my favorite songs. I don't know, but I want to do another one of those sometime within these next 3 months. Challenge number 9 is to generally stick to my budget. I can be a little bit impulsive when it comes to buying things, and it's not like an actual problem. I'm not like spending outside of my means or anything, but I just want to be a little bit more cognizant of what I'm doing with my money. And so I set up a budget for myself, and I want to keep to that pretty much all the time, but I know there are gonna be some instances where like I'm on vacation, or like Sarah's visiting me, so we're gonna go out to eat a lot, something like that, where I have to not stick to that strictly. But yeah, I definitely want to keep to the budget that I've set myself because I want to be a little bit more careful with what I'm doing with my money. Fun fact, I was actually in the middle of doing a no spend week challenge and I was filming it, and that was the week that I got sick and I had to go buy medicine because I was running a fever. So that kind of failed, and so yeah, I might want to retry a no spend challenge sometime this summer. Challenge number 10 is to work on Specialis Revelio. If you don't know what this is, Specialis Revelio is my Harry Potter analysis blog where I go chapter by chapter analyzing the Harry Potter series. I started it back in September, and it's something that I really enjoyed doing, but a lot of different things caused me to stop. I did NaNoWriMo in November and I was focusing on writing. December was when I got obsessed with the Genius and I did literally nothing else with my life for like 3 months, and then I went back into writing, and then I've gotten back into Korean stuff. So it's just been, I've had so many excuses for why I haven't done this, and my summer is pretty wide open and I really want to get back to the blog. I think part of the reason I've been so negligent is because it takes a lot of work to do even just one post on the blog, because not only do I have to reread the chapter, I have to do a close rereading of the chapter. I have to read a chapter of the analysis book that I'm reading alongside it. I have to take notes on all of this as I go, and then I have to compile all of this information into an easily digestible blog post for both people who have read the whole series before and are reading the series for the first time. So it's a lot of stuff that goes into just one single post, and sometimes it doesn't really feel like it's worth it. But this is something I've started, and I'm bad at finishing what I've started, so I want to commit to this and finish it, even if it takes several years. So my goal for the summer is just to work on it. I didn't give myself a set number of posts because I know that I would just work to that and then stop. So I want to work on it. And then goal number 11 is a little bit vague, so I'll have to explain it, but essentially it is for, on my blog, to do a ranking of every song by an artist, or to do some sort of other large ranking. What I mean by this is that occasionally I will do these massive rankings. Like last year, I finished up my ranking of every Project Runway designer that's ever been on the show. It was like 216 people. It took like 12 posts, I want to say. It took a while. And while I'm probably not going to do another one with that large of a scale, I definitely want to do something of that sort. Like I said, like either ranking all of the songs by my favorite musician, or another large example would be to do a ranking of every queen that's ever been on Drag Race, stuff like that. Honestly, that's the one I'm kind of leaning toward right now, is to do a ranking of all of the Drag Race queens, but I obviously need to wait until the end of season 9 to do that. But yeah, that's the one I'm leaning toward right now, or doing a ranking of All Time Low's songs since they did just release a new CD. I don't know, probably one of those two, and if not, a ranking of all of Marianas Trench's songs. I don't know, or Pentatonics. I don't know. So yeah, I want to do another large ranking over the summer because I know that, like I've said, the summer is the time when I have the most time available for me to do all of these like creative endeavors that I really love doing, so I want to utilize that to its fullest. So that was my wrap up for my spring goals and my introduction for my summer quarterly goals. I apologize that this video was really long. I rambled quite a lot. I've been doing that lately. My last few videos have all been like almost 20 minutes long or over 20 minutes long, so apologies. And of course, I will check back in at the end of August or the beginning of September and tell you how these goals went and introduce the new goals. I think the one that I'm hoping I succeed at the most, at least at this point, is to stick to my Korean schedule. Because even though I think it's super interesting and I really enjoy learning it, when it comes to doing something that is like actually learning based, that's not always fun and is sometimes confusing or difficult, I can be a little bit lazy and just not do it because I'm not in the mood. And I don't want that to happen with Korean, because I really want to be able to speak a second language fluently at some point. Obviously, it's going to take a very long time before I get to that point, but I just don't want to give up because I'm lazy. And I know that that is something that is definitely a possibility. So I'm saying this now to my future self. I really hope that you didn't just give up because you were lazy. So yeah, I really hope that by this time in 3 months, I am still maintaining some sort of schedule for learning Korean, even into the new school year. So crossing fingers, hoping that I can actually succeed at doing this and not give up due to laziness. As always, I will leave links down in the description to my blog, Twitter, and Goodreads. Please add me as a friend on Goodreads. I would love to be friends with all of you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.